it's April here and welcome back to another art video. Today I'm going to be making this field notes into an art journal. It's going to be super fun, but it's also going to be quite a lot of work because there's quite a few pages on here, even though they are small. So I've got notes from when I did Meet the Artist. There. That was ages ago. Things to do today. This is like some stuff for my old job when I was doing 3D, so it's all about like 360-degree render notes. Very exciting stuff. This is a recipe for cauliflower buffalo wings. I might want to take a picture of that before I cover it up. So yeah, just some random stuff. You can see it's a bit messy, some like random doodles in there, and it's all filled up now. So I thought I'd make it into a little art journal. So when I thought about doing a little art journal, I didn't know what to do for it because I have lots of ideas that I wanted to do, but none of them seemed right for the time that we're in right now with the troubles that are going on and probably everyone's anxiety levels. I thought it was also weird not to mention what was going on because it's a big part of everyone's lives right now, so I didn't just want to do something like, my first idea was to do something with birds, and I was going to fill it all up with birds, but it feels a bit random and a bit kind of, you know, just picking a subject and doing it. So what I thought was, in times like this when everyone's probably a little bit stressed, maybe a bit bored, maybe they've run out of carrots like I have, and potatoes and ketchup, maybe we can think about what makes us happy. So I started thinking about what makes me happy. Just little things that make me happy. I'm gonna kind of do it mixed media style, get a little bit art journaling going on, a little bit of mixed media. So I've just got a whole bunch of different stuff here. Some old swatches, like I really love this yellow, some more paint. I've got all of these pages from my art journal that I haven't finished yet, but I ripped these out from that. So that's some really cool background stuff in there. Got this beautiful wrapping paper. I think this came from Liz actually, and this super cute little envelope that I really definitely want to use because I think it matches it perfectly. How perfect is that? So first thing I think is to pick out my items that I want and then maybe start prepping the pages. I think I'll probably just paint different colours on them just so I'm not stuck with a blank page, and maybe even include some of the stuff like here and there just to kind of show where it came from. I thought that might be nice. So yeah, I'll probably just do that as a little time lapse and then we'll get into painting. It's voiceover April from the future here, and right now what I'm doing is just picking my favourite things from the list of happy things I made and organising them so there were some longer ones and some shorter ones kind of spaced out. And then I thought it was a good idea to kind of go through and make the first layer of each page, and I had the favourite things in mind while I was doing this, so I kind of picked things related to that or colours that I thought would go well with the text. So just so I didn't have a blank page to look at. It took me a couple of hours to fill in all the pages, and this is just like the base for each of the pages. Some of them I put paper in, some of them paint. So now I'm going to go ahead and just go page by page, try and fill it up. And the first thing I did was make a title page, and this came out like really cartoony. I kind of wanted it to be like that, like a little bit cheesy, a little bit fun. So I just used really bright colours and did a little rainbow and a sun for the title page, so it looked very happy and a little bit childlike. And then these are just things that make me happy. So the pages in here are like wildly different. Some of them are just paintings and some of them are collages. But this page here was the very first one I did, and I'd say it's a lot more art journal than the rest of them. I don't really know what I'm doing when I kind of art journal, if that's what you call this. But I just make a mess. And this one was about coffee, so I used my old like stamp that I made a few weeks ago and just popped that in and picked some colours that I thought were nice. Really, I didn't really think about it too much. I also used my little sprocket, which is like a photo printer, for filling out a few of these little pages. I got this a couple of years ago and I've never really used it that much, but I thought it was really helpful in this project. And so this page is all about my plants, so I thought it was really fun to do a little collage. And then what I did is I used some plain paper, printed out the photos, and then I made them look like little Polaroids. And this page is actually one of my favorites. I probably have like 3 favorite pages in this book, and this is one of them, just because it makes me so happy to look at all my little plant friends. And then the best part for me about doing this book was making lots of mistakes and then covering them up, which is what I do here. So as you can see, I kind of like cut out those speech bubbles and put them over the black ones just because they were not matching at all. And this is an example of a really simple page where I didn't really know how to do a picture to match to the quote. This is another really simple page. I did this one at night time, so the lighting's a bit bad, sorry. But this is about freshly baked cookies, and I really wanted to use that bright opera gouache that I have, which is like the best colour, but it's so bright there's only a few situations you can really use it in. So I did that with these cookies and some little crumbs and chocolate chips, and it looks delicious. And then this page actually turned out to be my worst page that I like my least favourite. It's about the cricket and how the cricket works first time sometimes, and it always surprises me. And I thought I would use my little polar bears as a kind of pattern in the background, because if you've seen my vlogs, the first like 700 times I used the cricket was just trying to get these polar bears to come out right. So they've caused me a lot of trouble in the past. And this next page is basically purely collage. These are potato waffles that I make in here. Just so you know, I don't know if everyone has potato waffles in their country, but in England we do. They're just kind of like waffle shaped, but made out of potatoes. And this is about having breakfast for dinner. So on the plate there are some potato waffles, veggie sausages, baked beans, and that white stuff is actually scrambled tofu. It's not porridge. Breakfast for dinner. Don't forget the ketchup. And then bringing back my favourite colour again, this little happy thing is buying a new tube of paint. So I had it super simple, and I use these little drippy things. This is the first time I used them, and I like them so much I put them on the cover in the end. I just love this colour so much, and when it's kind of like the main colour on a page, it really pops and stands out. And these are my favourite paints right now, acrylic gouache, so I thought I would paint one of those. I really love how you can see the writing through the background too. And then this one's a little bit messy. I used some wrapping paper, and then when I cut out the leaves for the plant picture, I used the paper that had been cut out, if that makes sense, and just popped a picture of me in there. And if you guys have seen my mushroom hunting video where I walked around in the rain to find mushrooms, this photo was taken on that day in my favourite place, Barossa Nature Reserve, which is just down the road from us. This prompt here was, it makes me happy when someone tells me I've inspired them. It doesn't happen very often, maybe once every few months, but it always makes me really happy just to know that someone has liked my work, or you know, one of my vlogs or something, enough to kind of want to go and make art. I didn't really know what to do, so I kept it super simple with these little doodles that were already in the book. And a little rainbow, because everyone loves rainbows. And another very exciting and happy page is this one. I kind of wanted to do a little rainbow in the background just to let everyone know that it was a really happy thing, but my colours were a little bit muted, so it comes out kind of a bit strange. But it's a little cloud there, and then some words on the right hand side. And this prompt is all about having the perfect fart. Everyone farts, don't be embarrassed, it's a wonderful thing. So I did little cloud, and then on the side are all the sounds that farts can make. It just makes me happy. And this one here, I found the perfect page for this next little happy thing. There was bookshelves, which I kind of just made my own little bookshelves on the next page. And I tried to make little pictures of all my favourite books. So I've got Wilbur Smith there, Philip Pullman, Dean Koontz, some of my favourite authors. And this is Reading a Favourite Book again. And the next one is actually my favourite page in the entire book. It's a bit of a strange one. I did some flowers because it is about the month of April, which is my name. And I figured flowers, April, spring, all goes together really. So I did these little flowers with some watercolor markers, and then I kind of just cut them out. And I was actually really inspired by a couple of people online who do these. I've forgotten their names now, but if I can find them, I'll pop them in the description. They do awesome paper flower art, and I kind of wanted to have a little go myself. I found the perfect washi tape as well to kind of cut out the speech bubbles there. The happy thing is when someone asks me if I was born in April and I tell them no. I don't know why that makes me so happy, but it just does. The next one is super simple, so it goes pretty fast. Basically, it's I'm happy when it's dark enough to see the stars out, which isn't very often around here. When I lived in Devon in the south of England, it was very dark because it was in the countryside, so you could always see the stars. And I even made it my mission to learn some constellations. I learned 3. Very exciting. So just using some gold paint there and some black paint to create a starry scene. This next one is a little bit chaotic. I just kind of shoved all the paper, all the washi tape onto the page. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I just kind of like used the paper as a background and didn't really do much else to it. And it makes me happy sneaking up behind people really, really quietly and just saying hello, so they jump. And this is another really simple page, just cutting up some paper there to make some televisions. And I kind of had an idea of making a tower of televisions, but I didn't really plan it out very well. So they kind of all look very precarious, like they would definitely fall over if they could. And this is a really simple page. I don't really like it that much. I think I rushed it just because I was getting a bit tired at this point. It was one of the last ones I did. I didn't do them in order at all. So not the best page, but it's in there. And then this is another one of my absolute favourite ones. I didn't even know it was going to be a favourite. You know when you start something and you think, oh, this will just be a random thing, you know, and then you're like, whoa, this is my favourite. So this is definitely one of my favourites, and it is about when you see a deer in the woods. So sometimes I see deer in the woods when I go out for walks, and obviously they're very skittish, so they run away, but sometimes you can catch them at the right time when they're just eating, and they're not scared of you. They'll just eat the grass, and if you just leave them alone, you can watch them for a little bit before you continue on your walk. So that's what this page is about. And I love how all the colours come together and the little dots and everything. It just makes me happy to look at it. Speaking of being happy, this one's about Happy Mail. So I finally used that little envelope that I wanted, and I had this in mind the whole time. I put a little like sunshine face on the front. I kind of put the envelope around the wrong way because it's very difficult to open, but inside the envelope is a little Happy Mail. It's just a little cactus stamp that I have. And then we got another dinner plate coming up this time, but this dinner plate is empty because this happy thing is about when I cook a meal for someone and they enjoy it so much they eat everything on the plate. So I just did a little knife and fork there, very simple, empty plate, and then used some colour pencils to kind of finish off. This one here was a little trip down memory lane. So it's about hearing a favourite story from my childhood. So I used some photos of myself from varying ages that I found on my phone. And it all came together pretty nice. It's quite fun to kind of see myself all together because I don't really have photos of myself lying around. So I can just flip through this and say, oh look, 5-year-old April, she was pretty cute. So this one here didn't turn out how I had imagined. I wanted to have a little bit more depth, but it didn't really turn out like that. And this happy thing is about when I start playing a game and I become a little bit obsessed with it, that the only thing I want to do is play that game. And I don't know if I've mentioned, but I have been playing Minecraft for the last couple of weeks. And I go through periods where I'll play a game, Minecraft mainly, and I'll just kind of like become obsessed with it. I just want to play it all the time. So this is my little Minecraft block, and there's some diamonds in there, there's some redstone, there's some all kinds of stuff in there for you to mine. And then another really simple one. I kind of wanted to alternate the simple ones and the like longer ones. These aren't eggs, guys. It's meant to be popcorn, but it didn't really turn out very well. But this happy thing is movie popcorn. Not just any popcorn, not just the kind you find in the supermarket, the kind you get at the movies. I mean, I love all popcorn, but movie popcorn is definitely the popcorn of popcorns, am I right? And this is another page that kind of turned out pretty good in my opinion, but when I started it, I was thinking, this is terrible, I'm gonna have to cover this up. Now, if you can't recognize at the bottom, it's very difficult, I know, I didn't make it very easy for you, but they are meant to be swords, because this page is about Game of Thrones. It makes me happy telling someone I actually really enjoyed the last season of Game of Thrones, just to annoy them. But it's actually true, I did enjoy the last season of Game of Thrones. Did that annoy you? I'm sorry. And then a very simple page for the last one. It was wearing odd socks on purpose, which I do every day. It annoys Martin to no end, but I just love odd socks. What can I say? If you'll see though, some of these socks are actually pairs. And then this is the very, very last page. I didn't really know what to do. I had so many prompts. Actually, this is a new prompt that I came up with to finish this page. And the prompt is finishing a sketchbook, which is what I finished. So to do the sketchbook at the end, I actually made a miniature version of this sketchbook in the sketchbook. I know, it's incredible. And then lastly is the front cover, which you'll see is like that paint one. So basically I just kind of copied the paint one that I made with the little acrylic gouache, and I put a little smiley face on it, and instead of saying field notes, it now says happy notes. So that is my happy notes sketchbook finished. It's very fat, very chunky, and very full of colour. I want to say I did it over 5 days or so, over 2 weeks, so it did take quite a long time. I definitely want to do one of these again, but this time I think I will just do it in my free time and not make it like a challenge for a video. Anyway, let's look at the things that make me happy. First cup of coffee of the day. Plant friends. Telling a really funny joke that nobody gets, and I'm just laughing to myself, so I don't care. Freshly baked cookies. When my Cricut works first time. Breakfast for dinner. A new tube of paint. Sunday walks in Barossa, but really any day of the week there's nice. When someone says I've inspired them. The perfect fart. Reading a favourite book again. When someone asks if I was born in April and I tell them no. When it's dark enough to see the stars. Sneaking up behind people really, really quietly and just saying hello so they jump. Guessing the plot twist of a TV show or film and feeling clever, but actually this is also annoying too because the writing is obviously not that good. Coming across a deer in the wild, just eating the grass, and he looks at you and you look at him and try to stay very still so he doesn't run off. Happy Mail! Cooking a meal for others and watching them enjoy it, which I actually realised sounded a bit creepy after this. Listening to someone tell a favourite story from my childhood. Becoming obsessed with a game for a short while and nothing else matters but playing that game. Movie popcorn. Telling someone that I actually really enjoyed the last season of Game of Thrones, just to annoy them. Wearing odd socks on purpose. And finishing a sketchbook. And then this is my miniature sketchbook, which is not as good as the real one. I basically just did it with colored pencils really quickly and biro, but it's still pretty cute. I don't know why you would ever look at this sketchbook after seeing the other one, but it's there in case someone wants to look at it. So that was my Happy Note sketchbook. It took me quite a long time and it was super fun to do. I have 2 more filled notes that I want to do in the future. That is all for today. Let me know what makes you happy, and I will catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.